I hope all of you are doing exceptionally well. It is your friendly executive cat herder, Marissa Friedman, and my goodness gracious, it has been a while. When I tell you that the past 2 years have been insane, I am not making this up, and I have everything to be grateful for. Some of you know that I suffered a huge medical emergency that changed my life dramatically. And I have come on kind of sporadically, but really it's been client centered. It really hasn't been about, our practice and what we've been doing. And that's partially because we've done kind of a huge shift in the way that we do things. And I think you guys know, for as much as I am very public, I'm also very private. And I wanted to take the moment, to kind of really think about things that I've been hearing. And so why am I here right now? Well, we have done probably, gosh darn it, about 16 strategy sessions in the last 30 days. And so as we meet with people, what we're starting to see is this pattern of, and I think we talked about it a little bit before, but over learning. And so what happens when people are over learning is that they're consuming tons of content and they're not putting any of it into practice. So what we started to see as a pattern is that people are saving endless amounts of TikTok videos, right? You're putting them on your phone. It's like, oh, this was a great idea. I should do this. And all of these coulds and shoulds become just more clutter. And so going into a new year, we see also a lot of people doing what we would call Hail Mary programs, which is like trying to sell high ticket at the end of the year, because they realize like if you haven't done anything by now, then you're kind of out of luck. And so what I wanted to do that was somewhat like a little bit different was to say, hey, like let's take some time to think about where we need to reflect. Let's look at the year and what we've accomplished. Let's look at the things that we could do better. Let's figure out how to revamp some of these existing programs or things that we've been doing. And then let's figure out how to relaunch. Because the reality is all we're doing is now taking maybe some additional considerations. But I think everyone has this idea that every year that they have to start new. And here's the thing. It is really easy, and I've made some predictions over the past year and a half, specifically at the International Franchise Conference, that I thought AI was going to need a component of human intelligence. So lots of people are looking at the future and they're going, oh my gosh, AI is going to replace me. And it's like, okay, or is everyone that's using AI currently to write copy, do they all have the same boring copy? And I'm going to tell you that the answer is yes, they all have the same crappy copy. So as much as the machines are an asset, it's really about using and leveraging technology to make better decisions in your business that you can deploy. So I don't care if you're in roofing, construction, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a life coach, you're, an SEO expert. Take a second and really think about when was the last time in your business that you reflected on your week or your month or your quarter when you weren't in a crisis or a crunch. So most of the time people are really great at looking at their financials or looking at, their progress in relation to dollars when they're under a crunch. They're not doing this proactively. And so the end result of this is that you're sitting and you're trying to figure out, oh gosh, what do I do here? How do I do this? Like, what's all of this? What is all of, what does it all mean? And what I could tell you is I really just want everyone to be able to go into the new year with a clear head. And here's what happens. Around December 5th, I started getting emails of people that we had sent proposals to or engagements to that just really there was no sense of urgency. And then all of a sudden, which I don't necessarily believe in all of a sudden, but all of a sudden, there was this huge, oh my gosh, it's a recession. And oh my gosh, we have to do this and that. And I look at it like, recession or no recession, you are going to have to invest in yourself and invest in your business. So the goal of this event is not a revenue generating event. It's really just, here's how we're going to plan and reflect on our year. Here's how we're going to look at the next 30 days of the new year, and here's what we're going to redo, relaunch, or repurpose. And I think that will quell any of your kind of anxiety or your fear about doing things in the new year, because what I think is happening is that we're going back into this kind of weird, like, I would call it like short form content fatigue. So a year ago at the International Franchise Association, I made a prediction, and that prediction was people are going to get tired of scrolling. You're going to get exhausted. It's going to be a thing. So what you're going to have to do is people are going to invest more time in spending time with creators that they're learning from. And the goal will be getting everybody from this empowerment into execution, right? So great example. If you are looking to change your mindset, and you want to have, hey, I want to be more positive, I want to do that. Well, you say it, but then what's the follow-up, right? So if you were to come to me and you were going to say, hey, Marissa, I'm trying to get more motivated in my business. I'm finding myself A, B, and C. I might ask you a series of questions. And in those series of questions, what I might say is, sounds to me like you probably don't need me, but you might need a life coach. And I know some of the best life coaches in the industry, so you should probably connect with them. And so what will happen is I just naturally will make a recommendation, because I've seen it. I've seen business owners get sucked into the FOMO, and I live in more in JOMO, which is the joy of missing out, right? So I don't have the fear of missing out of anything, but I also understand that if you're over consuming other people's content and you're looking at what everybody else is doing, that means you're not focused on you and what you need to do to drive forward. So the reason that we created the workshop that we're going to be teaching over the next 2 days, and you can watch it whenever, we've designed it so that like you don't need to be glued to your computer. We realize you have life. It's the end of the year. Like I'm not blind to that, but I also think that, if you have an opportunity, I would love for you to come hang out, send it over to a friend. But this is the workshop. It's called Reflect, Revamp, Relaunch. And the idea is like most people, by the time they make a decision, it will be halfway through Q1. So Q1 will be gone. You won't even be able to launch whatever it is you're thinking to until like Q2. So the goal through this process and workshop is a series of questions and exercises to get you into that frame of mind that's like, okay, here's how I'm going to crush. So really simply, the whole experience is going to be online. It's literally an hour with like 20 minutes of Q&A. And it's essentially like, it's something that I just noticed, right? Which was, hey, are you on social media scrolling for ideas? And this is, a client was showing me her phone, and I was cracking up because her phone just had tons and tons of videos. And I was telling her, I was like, well, you have 500 video ideas and you've not recorded one video. What is going on? And she looked at me and she was like, well, I don't even know how do I categorize this? And like, what should I do? And should I do this? And it's like, at a certain point, we have to stop shitting on ourselves. And we just have to say, hey, this is the thing that we're going to do in the next 30 days to move the needle. So my expertise is I am not a life coach. By the way, I am not like a coach in traditional terms. I'm more of a business mentor, because I'm not really going to ask you questions to help pull the answers like out of you. I'm actually going to say, hey, based on what you're wanting to do, here's how we've seen other people do it. Here's how we've helped other people accomplish this goal. And kind of our BHAG for the year was that we helped our partners, colleagues, and clients generate more than $75 million worth of revenue this year. $75 million in a recession after a pandemic. So I just kind of want to take a second, right? So we set up this page so you can go for free. And then what we did is we also, if you think that you might want more time, you can certainly sign up and add a session if you want to. That's a rapid fire session. But the event is totally free. We will be doing 2 days. It's in the morning. It's very simple. It's a really structured, like easy peasy format. The goal is not to, kind of overwhelm you into, that paralysis that we're all experiencing. And it really came about because the more people that I talk to, in December, the more that I realized people had waited a whole year and they didn't do anything. This was the same group of people that waited, like, after COVID, they waited a whole year and they weren't sure, they were going to wait and see. So like the wait and see has become, oh crap, we have to do something. And so for me, I would love to be able to help all of my friends and partners and my colleagues, but at the same time, like, I can't give everyone free help all the time. So what I thought I would do was to package and put this in a way that each of you could, understand, learn from, take a second to kind of just go through the process. So what you're actually able to do is I dropped a link, and it's here, and you'll go and you can sign up. It is going to be over the course of 2 days in the morning. You do not have to watch it live. So if you know me, it's like, it's so hard with online events because life is happening, right? You carve out all the time, but it'll be from 9 to 10:20 tomorrow and on Saturday. You can replay it. It'll be up on YouTube. You can rewatch it. And really what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the process of how are you going to reflect on the past year? How are you going to look back at all of the things that you've done? How are we going to look forward? So in that process, I'm going to lead you through a very simple strategic planning process. It is really simple. It's just going to analyze 3 things. And you guys know my 3 favorite things: passion, purpose, and profit. So if you've ever done any work with me, you know that there's this triangle. And so what we're first going to identify is, first of all, what went really great in the past year? What was really awesome? What could be better? And then we're going to look at that triangle and we're going to figure out, where are you lacking, right? So do you have a ton of profit in your business? And do you have a ton of passion for what you're doing, but you've lost purpose? Great. I have a strategic partner that works with entrepreneurs and people that are burning out to help them reestablish purpose. If you have tons of purpose and you have tons of profit, but you've kind of lost your spark, then there's an exercise that we can take you through that will help you kind of figure out, like, is this what I need to be doing anymore? Or is this merely something that's part of my story, but not my story, right? Is there other avenues of your business that you haven't explored? Or my kind of the biggest thing that we see, right, was just lots of passion, lots of purpose, and no profit. Why aren't you able to monetize your business? Why aren't you able to generate revenue for your business? And like we said, it's about $74.7 million is what we helped our clients create in business partnerships, recurring revenue, and company acquisitions, in additional revenue streams. And, I am one human. But here's what I know. I am a human that is very direct, and I'm very clear on what my skills and my talents are. And I have surrounded myself with other incredible humans that have incredible gifts. And what I know is this, is that if you're currently unable to make money in your business, if you're not able to monetize, then there's either something wrong with the offer, there's either something wrong with the value that you're trying to create, or people don't know enough about you to make an informed decision. I'm going to let that stick with you. People do not know enough about you to make an informed decision. And so as a result of that, right, and we're seeing this as people leave the corporate sphere. I think I've talked to probably at least 10 to 20 people that have all left corporate that all believe that they're going to start successful coaching businesses in the next 6 months. And if you're actively a coach right now, I just want you to think about that. I want you to think about this incoming group of people coming from a corporate environment that believe that they're going to be phenomenal coaches. Maybe some of them will be. Actually, maybe I can guarantee you some of them are going to be excellent coaches, but that does not mean that they know how to develop a revenue stream or programs. And do you want to be the type of coach that's on Zoom all day? Like, I know there's a couple people that absolutely love their calendar filled every day in coaching. That is awesome. That is, like, to me, that is not where I want to be. as you guys may know, I really am anti-recurring meetings because I travel so much. And so even when I have client relationships where people want me to be on a meeting, I always set the tone that, hey, it's going to be tough for us to do a weekly standing meeting. But guess what? There's tools and technology. There's Volley. There's all these technology platforms that are allowing people to collaborate. So we'll do that passion, purpose, and profit assessment. And then we'll really look at, is your business or your brand or your project or what you're trying to create, right? How can you revamp it in its existing state so that you're not starting from scratch? And then how do you relaunch it? And the goal of doing this will be to walk you through a series of exercises. Now, I can't give you everything, but I will give you a lot of the recipe and the ingredients. And I kind of wanted to give you just a really quick understanding of what it looked like or what it looks like to kind of be in that state so that you can kind of see um, what it looks like and how you're going to work. So what's funny is most people think, okay, Marissa, you're going to have me write a reflection of how I feel. And it's like, maybe, but I'm going to ask you, when is the last time that you actually thought about, how do I feel? How do I feel in my business? Do I feel like every day is a grind? Do I feel excited every day to work with people? Do I no longer like working with people and I want to hire other people to offset that investment? And so I want to show you just kind of a screenshot, if it will, of one of the exercises that we do. And so this particular exercise is kind of drilled around. I want you to think about how you started the past year, and I want you to think about how you've grown and improved. And I want you to think not just about your business, but I want you to think about family relationships, new friendships, things that made you uncomfortable, things that you learned huge lessons from. Were there new people and new partnerships? Did you have a financial windfall? Did your finances go all over the place? Did they stabilize? Did you have a great reputation? Did you have a bad reputation? Did you reach people? Did you not reach people? Did you try new things? Did you volunteer? Do you know what your vision is for your business? And do you have any type of spiritual practice or way that you go inside to reflect? Now that might sound really woo to those that know me, but the reality is that for most of us, we are so focused on what the next thing is, that we don't ever take a second to reflect and say, God, instead of starting over, like, what could I do better? And let me just tweak that, as opposed to starting from scratch. And I'm going to ask the question again for those of you that have just joined me right now. How many of you have seen something cool online and you've bought a program, a product, or a service, and you haven't even logged in yet? You bought a course, you bought a class, you bought this thing, and you thought, I should do this. And then you didn't do anything. I know, you're not alone. It happens to a lot of people. So what I would encourage you to think about and what I would encourage you to do is to come hang out with us. It's 2 days. It's tomorrow morning. It's Saturday morning. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. 20 minutes of Q&A will be open to the group. We will be sourcing questions. And all we're going to do is help walk you through the process of how you reflect back on the year you've had, figure out what you need to revamp, and then what you need to relaunch in the next 30 days so that when you hit that halfway mark between Q1, you're not sitting there going, I know I should do something. Because if you decide halfway through, in the end of February that you want to do something, then you know that that's not even going to launch until Q2. So I'm really excited that you guys joined. Thank you for those of you that liked the post. Please feel free to reshare it. Again, we will be putting the workshop links everywhere for everybody. It is a free workshop. Come hang out. If you guys know, I used to do, my gosh, Google My Business workshops. I used to do them every month. I used to have so much fun. It was a blast doing those live because the real questions, that's what sparks joy for me. And we haven't been able to do them. We've just been on the road so much. So I'm excited to do this. We've put the link again in the comments. If you need it, it is here. It's also just on our website under events. You can come check it out, register, bring a friend, invite your friends. And a word to the wise, we already got some pretty interesting responses to the fact that we were asking what someone called very invasive questions. And so I just want to set the tone here so that there is absolutely no shock or surprise about who I am and what I'm asking of you if you decide to join us. I do not believe that any entrepreneur is going to grow by lying to themselves and other people. So here's the deal. If you want to come hang out in the free session, okay, we're going to ask you what type of work you do. Are you a consultant, a business owner? Are you a freelancer? Do you work in corporate? Are you going to start a business? Are you in transition? Are you a student? So we're going to ask you who you are, okay? Hi, Sita. Nice to see you. We're going to ask you, good morning. Nice to see you there. We're going to ask you who you are, okay? Second thing is we're going to say, hey, are you looking for anybody to evaluate what you're doing and make recommendations? It's a really easy question. It's yes, no, maybe, I'm not sure. I'm going to ask a very direct question about money. And here's the deal. Everyone looks at this and they pause and they freak out. So here's how I want to get you over that. If the last question offends you, you see this here, if me asking how much money your business or brand is generating on a monthly basis is offensive to you, then you're probably not going to be a great fit in our community. Because what we know is that talking about money, being transparent about revenue, not giving fake, not talking about the gross, but talking about the net is incredibly important. So we're also going to ask you, like, what do you hope would be your monthly income target? What do you think is holding you back? What do you want to invest in yourself? And how long have you been debating whether or not to get help? If there's anything you want to know, or add a comment and who referred you over. That is it. So if any of those questions offend you, we probably won't be a fit. And I like to get that disclaimer out there because at the end of the day, if you're not comfortable saying how much money you make or how much money you want to make, then you have no business going online. When I meet people that say, well, I don't care about the money. Okay, so you've just dedicated your life to something. You quit your job to start a business, but you don't want to talk about money. Then for me, in my sphere of people and my network of people that we work with, we have to be able to measure goals. So if I help someone, and I want you to do the math on this, if I have a person that's making $25,000 a month and we get them to $125,000 a month, that's a quantifiable increase, right? Those are really solid goals. If we have a company that's generating $2 million a year and we get them to $12 million in less than a year and a half, that's a quantifiable number. So if asking those questions offends you, then I wish you so much luck on your business and entrepreneurial journey, but you probably are not a fit for us because we are going to ask the hard questions. We are not about just the frosting on the cupcake. We're going to ask about the recipe and the ingredients, and that's just what it is. So if I didn't totally terrify you, please consider hanging out with us for our workshop and event. The link is there. Thank you, Sita, for jumping on and saying hi. For those of you that are coming on later in the day, the links are going to be posted on all of our social media channels. And we're going to replay this, I believe, on Instagram and TikTok. So with that, have a great day, guys. Bye.